How's it going? I'm your host, TJ Evans, with Untitled Discussion, brought to you by Royal Family Studios. Untitled Discussion is a show where we sit down and discuss the problems and some solutions to the issues going on in the black community. We're not experts, we're just a normal, everyday people. I'm with my friends Chris Harkless and Chris Sagos.
That's me. Was good.
How y'all doing today?
A1. I'm blessed and highly favored. Oh, he went to church today.
That's
You
what's
already
up.
know it.
That's what's up.
You know it.
Today I want to talk about the economics in the black community. Black businesses and investments, pretty much what happens with our money. What do you see, Chris?
If you're going to talk about black economics in our community, I think we first got to start with the consumer mindset. Black people scared to spend money with black folks. As soon as you tell somebody, hey, I'm finna go shop with them, or it's like, oh my goodness, why would you do that? It's better in the white neighborhood. We got to change that mindset. So that's one.
Do you feel the same way?
No, I feel like when we shop outside of our neighborhood and our culture, it's because of the treatment and how they keep things in different areas. Within our own communities, we don't actually hold our standards higher than just what we are as human beings, as Black America. So with that being said, I feel that we don't take care of our own when it comes to our dollars, our investments, and also with our communities.
So, what do you believe is the reason why we spend outside our own community?
Once again, it goes back to the consumer mindset. If the consumer says, damn, I get better treatment, like you said, in a white area, then that's where they're going to go. So how do we change the black consumer mindset?
So you believe it's the treatment, because the dollar spends in the Asian community around 28 days, and in the Jewish community around 19 days. And it's said that in our community, 6 hours. So you believe that 6 hours is because of just the treatment?
I think it has a lot to do with the treatment, and I say that because being by cultural person, when I go to places, whether I'm going into here in the Atlanta area, if I go to Buckhead or Perimeter Mall area or Cobb County, or even in the suburban areas, I get better treatment when I go to places like Walmart, a restaurant, or something like that, than when I spend my money in my own neighborhood or my own section of town, where if I go to the Beautiful, the service have gotten bad enough to where you don't even want to go there anymore.
Okay, like you mentioned Walmart, and a lot of us, we shop at Walmart.
Yes.
Main reason why people shop at Walmart is because of the bargain. That's why I shop at certain places, is because of the bargain. So I don't believe that a black person would leave the south side of Atlanta to go to a Walmart in Buckhead. I believe it's for the money.
So
the money they'll spend.
I would even take it a little step further. I wouldn't even say for the bargain. I think more of convenience. When you think about urban development, what is around your surroundings, what is around your neighborhood, things of that nature. When you say that you receive better treatment in the white area, I don't feel that. Like we just had a conversation with Chris. You change up your voice from time to time. I get to be more myself in my own community, and there's things that I expect.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I wouldn't necessarily say that. I still take it back to the consumer mindset. Is how do we change the narrative of saying, damn, it's better over here, versus, damn, what can I do in my community to make it a little bit better? How can I hold these businesses to the standard that I'm looking at, or that I feel that I should receive? So,
well, I say this much, like, okay, with me, I don't mind traveling from here to Newnan, or from here to Villa Rica, or from here to Buckhead or 400 or whatever, or because when I go over there and I see the neighborhoods are a lot cleaner, it may be diverse or it may just be a majority of Caucasian, European descended Americans, right? So when I go over there or whatever, sometimes they have better quality of like, perfect example, if you go to Walmart in Union City and look at their produce section, iffy.
Yeah.
Go to the one that's in Noonan or Peachtree City or Fayetteville, they have better quality of stuff. And it's not much of a hassle. When you go to the urban areas, you have a hassle, you got people that are acting belligerent, and you also have horrible customer service. When you go to those other areas, they are so quick to either get you in and out, or to they gonna be able to assist you and treat you like a human being. When you go to the urban areas, you have this problem, and then when you try to fix that problem, it makes you not want to spend your dollar there because of the way that people are acting.
I want to step away from corporation versus corporation. Let's say corporation versus independent business owner in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say with hair care products.
Mm-hmm.
Black people spend a lot of money on hair care products as a whole, like a lot.
I know. Just saying.
But as a whole, we spend a lot of money on looking good. Period.
True.
That's majority of our spending habits goes towards that.
True.
And most of us, we go to places like Walmart or like the beauty supply store that's owned by Asians, or just your local convenience store, anything like that, versus spending with someone that displays their material, their product on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we go to them rather than shop with the independent black business owner?
That's another one I beg to differ, because even on social media, I see more people buying, like you said, hair care products. Matter of fact, I got my beard oil from a black-owned business. Social media is, I guess, shrinking that gap.
It's free marketing now.
Well, I wouldn't say
It's not
necessarily
free
free
marketing.
marketing. No, I won't say
It's
that.
free advertising and marketing if you use it just right. If you use social media to your advantage, the platform, you can get away with a lot of marketing, because that's how certain people are starting to become overnight kind of
I
celebrities.
mean, but you still have to spend at times, a lot of times, more times than that.
Right.
And let's say, like how you were saying, that you see a lot of those businesses growing because people are shopping with them. But why aren't they shopping with them en masse versus going to the corporate stores?
Because we got to change. It's always the mindset. We keep thinking about advertising. Don't get me wrong, advertising plays a great role in it, but people are buying things more due to technology. It's the convenience factor. How fast can I get that product?
I disagree.
Accessible? Okay, talk to me.
I'm gonna explain this to you.
Run it.
We got to go through product quality and product base. So, okay, perfect example. You have the place that used to be the Barnes and Noble on Camp Creek. That's now the beauty store, right? But then next to Publix down there in Fairmont, by where our parents live, right next to Publix is a black-owned beauty shop. But as in, it's a black-owned hair care store.
Mm.
I looked at the price of detangler for my braids, right, from my fro. The price of the detangler at his store was $9.99. Now I go down to another store in Union City, and I went to Camp Creek as well. The same type of business, same stores.
Mm-hmm.
It was $7.99.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we don't want to shop with our own because they do an inflation on the price to recover the profits that they possibly to cover their profit, to make a profit off of what they probably bought it for.
And I've seen that as well.
Because like if you look at the food industry, and I'm gonna say this, like, okay, we'll spend money to go to Roof Chris, Papa Do's, Prime, that's at Linux, or Houston's. We'll spend that dollar to go get that, right? But we won't invest into places like Q Time, This Is It, we don't try to upscale our own to compete on the same level that the people that are in those upscale buildings.
This is it does pretty good though.
It does
They
do
have-
pretty good.
But that goes to when you was talking about the prices. Prices make a difference. Like people will shop with you because it's the free market.
Right.
Free market capitalism. You're trying to go for the best price.
Right. Right.
And if I can get a better price somewhere else, I'm frugal, so I'm going to try to keep my money in my pocket as long as possible.
I agree.
So.
I just come with a different perspective. I'm more about the convenience. Of course, quality and price, I do look into that. But I think about, I'm always on go, like, how fast can I get it? Who can get it to me?
But then you think about a lot of stuff is online now.
Exactly.
A lot of these
but that kills the, okay, the reason why I have a biased opinion about the online market compared to the in-person market, because at least when you go to a hair store or whoever, you can actually sample what you're going to use on your hair or smell it or look at the texture of it.
But you've already bought it before though. If you usually you're going to keep buying it.
Yeah.
You're a customer. You're a client to this particular brand, so you already know what you're getting. So if I go on Walmart and I want to get some shea butter versus going to an independent black business owner for shea butter,
right?
I'm getting shea butter. So where am I going? I'm going to the place with the price because a lot of stuff is going to the internet now.
Right. I'll give look at the West End. The West End still have a few places that do have black owned hair care stuff. I mean my spiritual advisor, his father started Warner Brothers with his uncle. They're based in the area, right? They have a lot of stuff that's for us. It's made by us for us, like the FUBU label used to be back in the 90s. But the purpose that I'm making is you can go test the product before you actually use it. So say for instance you have a baby face, like, you know what I'm saying, don't have no facial hair, you like, I want to grow my hair out or whatever. You can at least go say, okay, I want to sample this, sample that, sample that. Versus you go on the internet, you go buy what everybody said, let's go buy this wild hair oil or whatever. And you never tried this stuff. You don't know if it's good for your skin texture or if it's going to clog your pores to where it's going to make you break out, have an allergic reaction. At least I feel like the physical market, you can touch things before you spend your dollars. So it gives you a chance to actually do the footwork and research easier than going online and looking up the actual stats. Now, the stats are good to compare against, but it don't actually go that well until you actually touch the product itself before you make a purchase. Because it's kind of like a test drive.
That sounds cool, but they're selling cars online as well. Like they're literally dropping cars off at people's houses, and that business is doing pretty well.
Like, take out the middleman.
The physical market is cool, but
y'all following me what I'm telling y'all, right?
I understand what you're saying, but
totally.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You're a different kind of consumer.
Yeah.
Right? You like to go in to
I'm hands on.
Exactly. You're just different. Everybody's a little bit different.
Right.
So would you say that your viewpoint speaks for all black folks?
I can't say that. No.
So you couldn't say that you speak for the majority.
I speak for 1%.
So that's why let's just say that he does speak for 1%. So that means you speak for the minority. So what I'm saying is in the large scale of things, because I'm not speaking for outliers. I'm speaking for how we spend our money. Because black people have the spending power. Nielsen just released the numbers. It was like $1.2 trillion.
Right.
That is a ridiculous amount of money spending. Jeff Bezos is worth $100 billion, and he created an online shopping system called Amazon. There's a reason why he got $100 billion, and I'm saying that he has
a little bit more higher than the bracket.
But I'm saying though, we're spending our money elsewhere for a reason.
Right. Now, what's the question that you originally asked about black economics?
I'm trying to figure out why we have the spending habits. Why are they the way that they are?
Okay.
Because if we spend outside of our community, we have to know why. And from what I believe, my consensus is because I'm trying to save my money. Everybody is scared about the economy anyway, even though we're doing pretty well. But everybody is trying to save money where they can, and they're trying to spend money to look nice when they can. Now, this falls on business owners, independent business owners. When you open up a business, you're opening it up, taking a risk. So, how much of a risk are you willing to take when you open up your own business? Let's say that you sell. Let's just stick with the hair care products, or let's say that you sell soap. Do you spend a certain amount of money to only sell 100 bars of soap, or do you invest more money and save a little bit more and create 1,000 bars of soap? Because if you're able to save money on a larger scale, you're able to pass that savings down to your customers. So now you're able to compete a little bit more.
I don't know, because I feel like when you're doing a business like that, I feel like that starting off with 100 bars versus 1,000 is the better. I'm just saying longevity wise.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, what is the risk are you willing to take? What do you think the risk that most independent business owners are willing to take? Are they willing to take the 100 bars or the 1,000 bars?
I think 100 because they can reinvest into their business.
Do you think is that a good thing for longevity though?
Yes, I honestly do. Because I look at it like this. Okay, I look at it like this. If they're independent, right? You gotta think about it. When you're doing a business transaction and you start off with something, if you sell 100 bars at probably $5 a bar or $3 a bar, if you count it up, that's probably anywhere between $200 to $300. So okay, if you got these bars for the
are you saying profit wise?
Right.
About $200-$300 profit wise. Okay.
Right. But if it costs you 40 cents to 80 cents per bar, you know what I'm saying? You're already making $1 to $3 as in profit each one that you sell. You're making your money back. So if you get enough money to where after you just sold out of all of the 100 bars, whether it's been in a day or 2 days or a week, you have enough money to actually come back to the table and say, I want double of what I got the first time. And as you keep doing that, you keep re-ing up. So where you get to that point where it may take you a week, it may take you 6 weeks, it may take you 3 months to get to that 1,000 bar goal. So as you hit that 1,000 bar goal, you appreciate it more. Your business wise, you put money back into your business, you put money back for taxes, for production costs. All of those things, you put money back into the business to help grow the business and also paying yourself on the side as well, so you can be able to make your dream a reality. I just feel like taking that risk up front can ruin you later on, or right there.
Chris, what do you think? Do you go for 100 bars or 1,000 bars?
Neither one. In today's time, that ain't how businesses ran. So when you talk about technology, you got to figure out what's the demand. What I would do, and this is my mindset.
Okay.
I would get people on a subscription. So if I know that you buying soap all the time, I'll just put you on a subscription. I wouldn't hold any inventory. I would work out a deal with the distributor. You keep paying that monthly fee. I'll just make sure the distributor send you those bars of soap if we talking about soap.
Okay, but hold on. When it comes to that though, he said when you're independent. So when you first starting, how are you going to be able to? Do you? If you're trying to subscribe, if you're trying to get people to subscribe, what are you going to give them the sample to actually will them in to be able to subscribe for?
I'm selling you black soap. You already know what it is. I'm going to give you the ingredients and all that stuff.
I want to get into, we're talking about investments.
Okay.
Like, how do you invest in yourself as a businessman? And that is a smart way to do it. Like, I'm going to not touch it at all. And that way, he saves money and he passes that savings on to his customers. Right. So that way, he draws in customers and actually has a foot in the market.
Okay.
We're not reinventing the wheel. That's what they're doing with the razors.
Okay.
That's like, it's a...
You talking about with the Dollar Shaving Club?
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
So these are like toiletries.
And I'm like, hold on, but let me say this. Because you know with black people and doing the raises, I know this give me a second, TJ, because I know it's gonna go off for a second, but just follow. All right, when it comes to like you said, the Dollar Shaving Club, you know what I just said, stuff that we actually invest in or whatever, that we buy or whatever. The Caucasian person is the person that put the dollar behind the invention that somebody comes up with, even though we may own the patent for it.
Okay.
But the problem is, I feel like we don't get enough royalties off of the products that we invent, as in the black culture. We don't get enough back end residuals.
What you mean, like the guy who invented the super soaker that just got paid?
Yeah,
He just got paid.
yeah, but bro, if he owned the patent for that over 30 years ago,
He's still gonna get paid from it though.
he will get paid. I'm not saying that, but look how long it took him.
But that don't happen. This is not slavery days, bruh. If you invent something, man, you need to patent it. That's on you as a businessman to know
Right, but
business.
if you patent it, it's like the back end residual checks. I mean, not checks, but just the back end residual process takes forever and a day. You ever heard of the 35-year law?
When it comes to, that's usually when it comes to
That's what I had sent you that
Right.
from Jacob.
But that's what, like, that was back then. We are thinking of right now.
It's still going to effect right now.
I did, but that's because people are not knowledgeable. So
Right.
once again, it's the mindset.
Yeah.
We got to change the mindset. My ultimate goal, I digress. Let me take it back.
Okay.
So when you said, Chris, you work for this institution in a poor neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not necessarily poor. Poor is a mindset. It's a mental disease. So we got to, I take it upon myself. I don't look and say like, damn, folk fucked up. Nah, I'm fucked up because I don't educate. I'm fucked up because I'm not doing everything that I can to put my people on a higher platform.
But what happens when you try to educate and you feel like you're getting
It's not for
points
everybody.
to actually reach them?
It's not for everybody.
It's
only
really
gonna be
isn't.
for the ones that's willing to accept it.
Right.
But they say you can take the camel to the water, but you can't make them drink. So I'm gonna lead these motherfuckers to the water. It's up to you to drink. I did my part.
Okay.
So that's what I think. We're so focused on what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
I like to focus on what are you doing internally as a future business leader. What are you gonna do to change this shit?
I mean,
What are you gonna do to bring economic power to your people?
well, it's crazy that you say that because I had a discussion with a colleague of mine in the industry that I work in, and I was like, if I was the owner of a fleet of reefer division of a company, right?
And that's refrigerated trucking for those who don't know.
Right. Sorry. But if I did that, I was talking to my friend and I was telling her, I said, what do you feel like your experiences was? Because every company that you work for is very different. And inside of the trucks that we had when I was working for East West in Billerica, Georgia, we had direct TV in the truck, refrigerator, power inverter, which is, for all your outlets and stuff. The radio came with Bluetooth. It was an automatic truck, so I didn't have to worry about my knees hurting because, I have bad, from accident 5 years ago. So I still feel those repercussions to this day. But when I went to other places, they might just give you a truck with the automatic transmission, and they got the basic setup, and they want you to run, back and forth. This particular company had the truck set up so good to where when you're in the truck, you feel like you're at home, even though you're moving. You're in a one-bedroom studio apartment. So it's like, I was asking her, like, what do you think they could be better? Not trying to outdo nobody, but I want to make sure that when I'm owning a business of that magnitude, whether it's 5 trucks, 2 trucks, or 20 trucks, I want to make sure that my employees are comfortable, that are bringing me the money. Because I look at, when it comes to transportation, us as the drivers that hold CDLs, it would not be no finances coming in without us, because we're the face. Without our certifications, that truck can't move. Because most people that work in the office, unless they're the owner or the safety manager, do not have a freaking CDL. Ain't never even touched a truck. So, what are you gonna do to keep your drivers happy so they can keep you living a certain way, or for you to expand your business, for you to keep going? So, with all that being said, I just look at the situation of as when you're dealing with people, whether it's at work or it's dealing with the community. What can I do to help the situation? But then, like you said, you cannot take somebody to the water and force them to drink. education, because it's like I rather do those necessary steps now and be accessible to the people. I don't care if it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon or it's 1 a.m. in the morning, and I'm with my lady and we're trying to have an intimate moment. If I don't answer this phone, baby, I can't pay the bills, because this is what feeds me and my family at that point. Because even though I'm the head investor, CEO, and founder and owner of a business, I still got to be able to make sure that everyone is happy in order for my business to run smoothly as a well-oiled machine.
One thing about black economics, in order to get better, we have to start with investing.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of people say investment starts within the community, but people don't say what to invest in or how to invest.
Okay.
Do y'all practice any investment habits?
Yes. I'm slowly starting to invest in stocks and real estate.
Mm.
I'm educating myself, purchase literature, purchase a few stocks here and there, but purchasing literature and actually taking time out to read the literature while working a full schedule throughout the week. It's a little bit hard, but I try to take it one day at a time, because I want to get into the fact of I want to invest and be a owner of property, be an owner of buildings, commercial buildings, where you know people are using their workspace. Matter of fact, they just came up with it, like Victor 90 that Dempsey had got arrested in California, where he was leasing space to people to be able to, like teenagers or whoever young that are trying to build their business, they may not be able to afford to. It was like a co-op for business, spaces or whatever. So I'm working. That's what I want to work on, to be able to do that and bring that here.
And Chris, what about you?
I try to take percentages out of my check every pay period to either save, make sure that I have a high interest bearing account, or I'm putting it into stocks and bonds. I like to play. You can call it educated gambling if you would like. I also make sure that I have fixed assets. What are fixed assets? Something like a rental property. I make sure that it's bringing in me some revenue every month, or at least try my best to. But it's all education piece, and that's the first thing that I like to start off with. Piggybacking off what you were speaking on, you buy a lot of literature. I do as well. I try to attend seminars and things of that nature.
See, I'm trying to get where he is, but it's taking me a second to get there.
He's actually better than me, ladies and gentlemen.
So I see a couple of things that are in line. One thing is the literature on it. So reading would probably be a good investment. Is books. You would say that would be a good investment first.
Great investment.
Never stop reading. No matter when you stop working or going to school, always educate yourself. I learned that from a 93-year-old woman that graduated high school at 16 from Chambers County, Alabama.
Do you have a couple of authors that you enjoy reading?
So when you speak on what, when it comes to investment or more
in
so?
economic literature, anything in particular, any books that you would suggest?
Dave Ramsey.
Total Money Makeover is cool, but that's just telling you about like savings. I'm thinking like
Chris Morgan.
Who's the guy that The Richest Man in Babylon? I'm not too familiar with that author. That was a good read for me. Richest Man, definitely got to check that.
I mean, just leave me with a couple of names, and I'll put the links in the description.
I said Chris Morgan, David Ramsey. I like David Ramsey. I listen to his podcast.
I'm a Milton Friedman, Thomas Sowell type of guy.
Who?
Milton Friedman.
Okay, I've heard of him, but I've never really dug into him.
Because I've started into the whole stock market investing thing, and it's actually it's pretty fun.
Stocks, like
actually, when I was in school, because when I was actually in middle school, they taught economics in school.
Right.
But that was 2000 what?
really wasn't
2.
paying attention.
Yeah, that was like 2002.
Yeah.
But after I seen how easy it was to actually just make money without touching, I was like, I want to be able to do that. So I saved up a little money, because I practice saving money. Again, I'm frugal. So I saved up just a little money and just put a little bit here in the stock market and just see what that could do. Like that was my first investment was stocks. Like I want to get into real estate, but I want to get into it for the land, not actually houses. I want land. That is my dream to own land. So I mean, cause I'm in it for the long haul anyway.
Right.
Like people say life is short, but there's nothing longer than life, so I might as well play that game of life. So
Right. You rather not roll the dice. You rather think longevity. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like I'll say this. Probably about 4.5 years ago, I got a significant amount of money. But instead of playing a long game like you're doing, which I should have, I was just like, shit. I ain't never had shit.
I tried to put them on y'all. I really did.
He did, and I put. Oh, we wouldn't be having these. It'll be a whole other platform. Right, but the at that time I was 20. I'm 31 now, so I was like 27, 26. Never had shit. Fresh out, been cooped up in the house. I was in a strip club. It's Atlanta. Long story short, what I know now and having the knowledge I know now, when next time I do have something that I come across, I can save and build myself back up to that purpose, to where I could be a multi-millionaire by the time I turn 40, or I can retire by the time I turn 45.
and also just to go back to that question, I refound my interest. Like it reignited when I went to college because I got a little bit of money and I went to school, finished school, and I took economics. I was like, money's pretty easy when you think about it. Like it's pretty easy. So I feel like I don't have any kids, but if I had kids, that would be my first thing to teach them about investing as well. First in school, not even primarily in school, because I wouldn't say like open up a college fund, but at least a trust fund, just in case they don't want to go to school, they can go to trade school, learn how to do something with your hands. If you're not just gonna go do that. Yeah, I mean, we'll speak about that. And
529 Coverdale, 529 or more. So if you going to college, Coverdale's a good. If like you said, you want to do go have your kid go to trade school or they can set it up for where it's business purposes.
and then also one person who keeps me like on the stock market is my mom. I got her into it, but now she calls me every other day talking about it. So she's on it. So it doesn't matter how old you are or when you want to get into it. Like stocks is probably one of the best investments, especially since it's around tax season. So why not learn about the stock market? And I'll leave a couple of links in the description of some videos that I look at and about that. But
I'm gonna tell you this. I was talking to a buddy of mine that drives trucks as well, and I told him, I said, bro, if I was getting with people who have dependents or kids or whatever, I know someone who has 2 children. They got back on the tax return. I think they got in the ballpark figure of $75 to $9,000. Right? I told him, I said, if I was getting that type of money back, now that I think I have more knowledge than I did when I was 16, 17, or in my 20s, I would put that money back. If I was back then getting that money and I had the knowledge that I have now, I would put that into a CD, or you know what I'm saying, and just let that money work for me for about 5 years, and then pull the money, put it in one account, and go purchase some land or apartment buildings or whatever. Because I'm thinking in the long game of, if I buy a apartment building right now that's 6 bedrooms, six units or more, and I buy that or whatever, and I sit on it for 5 years, it's paid off in 2.5.
You getting that in Atlanta?
Yeah.
I did numbers on that. It's 700 to a million point five.
Right. So you gotta look at it. I'm thinking a long game. If I decided to either will that on to my kids when I have children, or I decided when my daughter is born, I'll buy another building, keep the one for her, and let that sit in a trust for her. Put some of it in the trust, some of it for the property taxes, and be the trustee over it, and make sure that the property taxes and the maintenance is done on it. Then I can move on to the next venue, have a little bit of that as my capital to start up that, but leave that for a legacy for my children. Like, a lot of people don't realize, if you go roll down 20 right now, my pastor is up there saying something, which he says, what type of legacy are you leaving? So I look at it like this. Now, when it comes to learning and educating myself, now I'm trying to build myself to a point where I'm leaving a legacy for the generations that come behind me. Because the generations before me didn't leave me shit, except for maybe a little education and humor and personality and work ethic, but they didn't leave me the education knowledge that I needed to be able to succeed. I had to go get that myself.
Didn't brag around. I ain't gonna say that. It was instilled in me
I mean,
from my grandparents.
your mother is a teacher though. It kind of works that way.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's,
My mom wasn't like that though. So.
and I can dig that. I can respect that. But I'm just saying, like, you know now.
Yeah, I know now. That's why I'm saying. What I know now, I want to pass it down to my kids, so that way that they go when they come, they already are set for life. So when my grandkids come, they can set my grandkids up for life. It's generational wealth.
Generational wealth only lasts 4 generations.
But believe it or not, my mama is an educator, but a lot of like game I got from I ain't gonna say uneducated, but my grandma didn't. She used common sense. We'll say that a lot of it. My dad, mom.
Okay.
Like she used to take me to the store. Oh, hey, don't get that shit. That's too expensive. Or she would always say that money burn a hole. Them what they call it idioms.
Mm-hmm.
That money gonna burn a hole in your pocket.
Right.
I didn't understand what that was until I got older. Now that I'm older, I understand those
Right.
teachings that she was trying to put on.
Right.
Like, damn, don't count your chickens for their hatch.
Right.
Okay, what they say, bird in the bush,
Right.
bird in hand worth more than 2 in the bush.
Right.
That's how it goes.
Lord, man, you from the South.
Yeah,
Really.
straight out.
Yeah.
Without
We talked about the spending habits that we have in the community. We spend a lot of money on looking good. I didn't really want to get into the clothes or the shoes or anything like that, but we do spend a lot of money on our looks because we care about how we look. We talked about where we spend our money at and why. Usually, more times, 9 times out of 10, is we go for the better price. It's not that we don't like spending with our own. It's like sometimes our own has a higher price.
Inflation.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that. But I want to know, what do you feel needs to happen, needs to change in order for us to do better in the community with our dollar? How does the dollar stay longer in the community?
real talk, we're done. You gotta go back to the youth. I think probably like 5th, maybe the middle grade. 6th grade on up, 6th to 8th, you go back and really put that financial literacy on them. Put it on there, instill it. Teach folks how to open up a business instead of working for a corporation. Make people understand money. The youth running it right now. As you see, everybody on TV, they young. You gotta get the youth involved. So that's how you're gonna change it, in my opinion.
Is to go
You gotta
teach the
You gotta get
kids.
the youth on board.
I will say this much. The one thing you did say was correct was the youth. But on the flip side of that is, when you take them back to school, when I was in the 3rd grade, I had already had a bank account, savings and checking. At that time, I think it was Bank South before it became Bank of America. But in my school, we had a bank that they opened up for the kids, that the teachers helped us to save money. And this is at Emma Hutchinson Elementary on Cleveland Avenue, in the middle of the hood, in the middle of Zone 3, right before you get to Hayfield, at East Point. But the point that I'm making is that at that point, the parents should have been working with the teachers so they can instill the same thing when kids get home. Instead of the candy lady, the ice cream truck coming down the block, or Miss Peaches selling the ice cream, the Kool-Aid cups, the frozen Kool-Aid cups in the hood. It's all about, we should educate our own so they can actually have something later on. I don't have to have a car, the Mercedes with the flashy rims and all of that. I'm content with if I have a lease car, because I'm not home as much because I'm a truck driver. But I'm content if I have the bare minimums. Like if I'm driving a Honda Accord and it's a newer car. Shut up, fool. Anyways, the point that I'm making is, you don't have to, in order to have financial literacy for the next generation, you should practice teaching them how to make $1 stretch 2 days in the black community. That's what I believe in. That's just me.
Education is a major factor that will help in economic strength in the black community. That is one thing that I feel that we're lacking. We're always worried about what the next man got instead of worrying about what we're doing ourselves in our own community. We just need to put blinders on, worry about our home, our community, and just take baby steps. Education is a major thing, and one thing that I can always say is a 2-parent household. I'm sorry. That is always just a key to me, is 2 people to be focused and have 2 different streams of income better than 1. 2 pockets is better than 4. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Chris, for joining me on Untitled Discussion.
I'm Chris with a K.